So, it's been a while since I've posted on this channel, but hope you're doing well, hope you're doing good. Ironically, the last time I posted on here was when I went to Japan for a holiday, and now I have some exciting news. I've actually moved to Japan, so I'm currently living in Japan. Japan is my new home now, and I've been in Japan for exactly 1 month so far. So I just wanted to make a quick video of some of the kind of culture shocks and change that I've noticed while living in Japan, and what's kind of very different in England, and kind of like I just noticed the little differences. So I just wanted to share my kind of first month of culture shock while being in Japan. So let's go. So it was nice to hang out with all of you again. I'm hoping in the future I'm going to be posting more on this channel soon. As you can see, this is my lovely Japan flat. And as you can also see, I do not have a lot. It's pretty empty at the moment. I got left a houseplant, as you can see from my last person. So I have inherited this, and I'm going to get some more furniture when I get paid. So when my flat looks more like a home than a house, I'm definitely going to do a flat tour. But at the moment it'd be pretty boring, because I'm like, here is an empty room, here is my empty kitchen, here is my empty bathroom, and that's it. So when I get some stuff, I'm definitely going to do a flat tour. But until then, let's jump into the culture shock I have found with living in Japan. So one of the first small ones I noticed was the flat I'm in. This could just maybe be my building, or it could be all of them, but I've noticed for the locks, they lock the wrong way round. So let me show you for my example of it for my flat door. So here is my flat door. Just for fun facts, this is my Japan floor, so all your shoes have to go here. They're not allowed on this wood, but I'll do this more detail in my flat video. But anyways, here's my lock. So in England, when I come to locking it with just my kind of muscle memory, I would always kind of go this way to turn it, but it won't turn, you have to go this way. So it just locks the other way around. So my hand's getting used to having to flip the other way, but there's definitely some times where my old muscle memory goes back into it this way, but you have to do the opposite direction. So my next one, so for the next two actually, I kind of sort of knew this, but I didn't realise how kind of like, I thought I was going to be okay without having these sort of things, or them doing this, but it's actually sort of getting to me. Like, I can live with it fine, but I definitely kind of get like the slight eye twitch when it happens. And yeah, I thought I was gonna be like, oh, they can do it and whatever, and I'll be fine, or not do it and I'll be fine, but it does get to me like a little tiny bit. So the first one, which really does shock me, is when you sneeze out here, they won't say bless you. It'll just kind of go on like natural. They'll just say, oh, they just sneezed and that's it. And it is fine, but you know, my internal soul, you know, I want to be blessed when I have a sneeze, or if someone has sneezed and I say bless you and they just look at me like a crazy person of why has this person just said bless you, and also they don't understand English very well as well, so they just kind of look at me thinking I've just tried to ask them something, and then you kind of have this awkward stare of looking back at one another. So that's definitely strange, just not having a bless you or being blessed when you sneeze. You know, I need my soul to have that kind of saving from not getting a cold or anything. So yeah, that one is definitely weird, and I want to get some bless yous out here. So I think, especially for the schools I go to with the teachers, I think I'm going to have to try to influence the bless you culture, because it is like, it just feels strange. It just feels really odd when someone sneezes and it just says silence. And then the next one is slurping for when they have noodles, because out here slurping is not considered rude, where in England and most kind of English speaking countries, if you slurp when you're eating, it is seen very rude. And I thought it'd be fine because I get told off for like doing a tiny bit of slurping if I have a cup of tea, but like some of them, they slurp really loud, it's like and I am very fine with it, but this is where my eye twitches slightly, because I'm just like, oh, it's just so rude in my culture to do that, and you just hear them all slurping away. So that one is definitely a big culture shock for me, because like I knew they'd do it, but some of them can be so loud, and it definitely culture shocks my body a little bit. But it's fine, you know, that's what the culture is, so I can live with it completely fine, but I do get a slight eye twitch because I'm just like, yeah, they're so loud when they do it. But you know, that's part of the whole culture of Japan, and it's interesting to see these culture changes, so I love it very much for that. And then the next one, which I'll show you, is in Japan. You know, I think a lot of countries have many different places where their washing machine live, or where their washing machine lives. Because in America, or if an American comes to England, they get a bit of a culture shock because it can be quite common our washing machines live in the kitchen. But in Japan, their washing machines live on the balcony, and I'll show you right now where my balcony, or where my washing machine is. So this is my balcony door. And as you can see, the little white thing on the front. This is my washing machine, just living outside. I've got some washing on at the moment, but yeah, very strange that washing machines live outside. But you know what, at first I was like, oh, it's really strange for the washing machine to live in the balcony. But now kind of living out here, doing my washing a couple of times using this washing machine, I actually quite like it outside because one, we haven't got a lot of space in our Japanese flat, so it does free up more space. And it also makes doing washing a lot easier because you basically put it on your coat hanger and then leave it outside to dry. And because the washing machine is right by your pole, it literally takes just a couple of seconds to get your washing hanged up and then just leaving outside to dry. And then because they also put it on your coat hanger straight away, once it's dried, and as long as it doesn't need to be ironed, you can put it in your wardrobe quite quickly. So I definitely think the kind of like doing your laundry out here, and especially with being on the balcony, and we're in the end of summer at the moment, so it's still really warm outside. Doing your laundry out here I find a lot quicker. At home I feel like I spend days doing washing because I'm the person that does it, and then I'll leave it on the side for ages. But because it's just all like, there's my washing machine, my coat hanger or my drying pole is kind of right there, and then my wardrobe is there, so it's literally like bish bash bosh. I'm pretty good at getting my washing all done in a day, so I definitely like that element out here. I think it's a much more efficient process, but I also think the Japan heat helps a lot because you can dry your clothes pretty quick out here. So my next one is driving in Japan. So I have to drive to work, and most of it's pretty the same, especially being in England, because in Japan they drive on the left, we drive on the left, so the driving's pretty the same. I actually find driving in Japan a lot easier since there's kind of, the driving is more straightforward out here I find, and there's like not many speed cameras out here, and I always feel like in England there's always someone trying to catch you out so you get a fine, where here it's not so much at the moment. So I feel a lot more calmer driving out here. But the biggest thing I've noticed, and it is very annoying because again muscle memory gets in the way, is where they've kind of got their indicators or blinkers if you're from America, and the windscreen wipers in England, they're on the opposite side. So when I'm driving, my windscreen wipers would be this side and my indicators would be on this side. So it's very common, especially at the moment when I'm driving, I think I'm whacking on the indicators, but I'm actually then turning on the windscreen wipers. So that's just my muscle memory needs to get used to, like they're on the wrong way around. But it's very annoying when you're kind of on autopilot and you think you're doing it, and then I've just turned the windscreen wipers on. So that's just a cool little small thing that I think it's more, I don't know if it might be the same if you're American or not, but I think this change is definitely more if you're from England. So it's definitely getting used to making sure I'm swapping the other one on, turning on the indicators, then the windscreen wipers. But yeah, it's quite funny sometimes I drive and I've done it and then I'm like, oh no. But yeah, just some small changes. And then the next one is, I'm sure many people know this about Japan, but if you have to sign like legal documents, or even for work, I have to like stamp in my attendance, but you don't sign, you have these little stamps here. So this is called a Hanko stamp. Mine was in a nice case, and let me open it up. But yes, this is this little pink thing. You can get them all different colours. I just picked this clear glass one because I thought it looked nice, but this is my Hanko stamp. So when you need to sign like legal documents, or I say stamped legal documents, or like my attendance, I have to use my little stamp here to stamp it, which it's kind of fun. Like I always just bring it with me everywhere just in case I need it. You can sign normally for some things. It depends what kind of document. If it is like if you're in the post office, you can get away with just signing with a pen, but some like it with the stamp instead. So I always just bring it around just in case I ever have to sign anything and they want the stamp rather than you signing with a pen. But yeah, I definitely think it's pretty fun and novel, and I think while in Japan, if they want a stamp, I'll happily stamp away, since it's very, it's a very Japanese style of how they do all their contract signing. And yeah, I was quite lucky on the colour coordination, since when I got mine, they asked to pick kind of what colour you wanted. I went for this kind of cool pink glass style, and then my supervisor gifted me my case, so the colour coordination worked out pretty well. And these cases are pretty cool as well because they have a little ink pad, so if you're on the go then you can still stamp away. But I'll show you my little stamp in action. So hopefully I'm going to try and do this one-handed, hopefully it'll go right. So yeah, you can just open the case up, open your little ink pad, stamp this down. It's always worth just kind of having a check, just making sure you kind of stamp it the right way round, and then you just stamp it to the ground like that. And then hopefully the ink's alright, and then I get my camera to focus in. And there you guys have it. Yeah, the focusing was playing up when I was doing it on the floor, but it's got it focused at the moment. So there is my Hanko stamp, or there's my Hanko stamp signature. It's pretty common if you're a foreigner and you're going to get one of these. So as you can see, this is all katakana here, and this is just my last name in Japanese. So this is Jenkins in Japanese, or Jenkinsu. So yeah, if you're going to come out here and you're going to get one of these, your last name will just be in the stamp in katakana. So it's pretty cool. I think the novelty of it is very fun, and I get to keep this stamp forever. So when I do come back home, or wherever life takes me, I will have this stamp forever. So definitely think it's really cool. And yeah, I like my case as well. The colour coordination turned out pretty good. But just when it's not the end of the world, because I've done loads of stamps upside down. But if you are stamping it, just double check. Oh, my camera does not want to focus, but the katakana on the stamp at the end, just make sure you try and get it the right way up. But it's not the end of the world, since I've done many of my signatures upside down, or side to side, or ring around. So it is not the end of the world if you do it the wrong way around. So just take some practice, but yeah, it's cool. It's just cool how another country does their documents, It's yeah, really cool, and I like the stamps. They're pretty fun. If there's always an occasion to stamp it, or if someone wants a signature, or a signature is okay, I always try and stamp it, since I'm in Japan. It's a different way to do it, so try and kind of just like embrace the culture as much as I can. And then my last one it's kind of a pro and a con. It's very much the viewpoint you see is the plastic. There is a lot of plastic in Japan. Literally, they use plastic for so much things that it doesn't need plastic. You can just kind of put it in there. Especially England, we've become very anti-plastic for a long time. The only one plastic thing I do really like in Japan, and it's one thing I kind of wish England kept, but we changed it, is plastic straws. I very much like going to McDonald's, I have a milkshake and it's in a plastic straw, and I can actually drink it again than having a soggy straw. So that's the one big thing of plastic I really like here. I like having my plastic straws back. But everything else, I go shopping and they will kind of just put, so they have got a little bit there of plastic. So if you're going shopping, you want plastic bags, it's very common you have to pay 3 to 5 yen for a bag, which is kind of the same in England. If you want a plastic bag, you have to pay for it. But you have to pay for these bags, but then if you've bought like fruit or vegetables, they'll put like a clear plastic bag over it, and then they'll put like half it in like other plastic bags. And I'm like, you don't need to do this. Like, I've bought my backpack, like it is all going in the same bag. And this is what I also feel, they are so like, what's the word, attuned to details. Like if I go shopping, what tends to happen is you put it in your basket, then they scan it and then they put it in another basket, and they put it like so delicately, and they'll kind of like organize it in like a really nice way. And I'm like, you don't need to do it, like just throw it in, because it's going to go in my backpack and it's just going to be thrown in everywhere. So it's like a really nice one, they're very attuned. But the plastic they just put is just insane. Like I went shopping with a friend and bought some clothes, and on each individual item they wanted to put plastic over it and then put it in another plastic bag. And I'm like, you don't need to do it, like it's all going in the same bag, like you save the plastic. And they're just very high on it, and it's just how Japan is. I think they are changing, there has been some steps for improvement, but I see like in England there's a very big like what's the word, focus on like global warming, and we have to be green for the environment, and like the temperature rising and all this kind of stuff about global warming. And they're like, yeah, we need to change England for, so we're green, and then it kind of stops global warming. You know, everything helps, but my mindset's always been, if you can't get every country to do on this, you know, what one country does, it will help, but it's not going to be like the grand scale of it. So I just find when England's very much like on the big push of it, and then you have Japan who's still big on like using plastic, you know, I just think in the long run you need everyone to be on board than just like one country or a few other countries. But yeah, it's an interesting way, because like they definitely are over the top with plastic. Like there's some things you don't need all this plastic for, but the one thing that they definitely need to keep is the plastic straws. I like having a drink again with a plastic one. So it's interesting just to see how like one country can lose all the plastic and then one country is still heavily using it. So interesting to see both sides, and there's pros and cons to it. I think they definitely use a lot of plastic that's not needed, but they're good with the plastic straws. But yeah, that's kind of a few of the culture shocks I found at the moment. I'm sure I'm gonna find a few more, actually just kind of talking about this again. I have thought of a few other ones, but I'll make another video of some more culture shock I discover for my time in Japan. But overall, it's been really good so far, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm definitely kind of having a better life experience than what I was having in England and to now. And I've only been here for 1 month, so it's interesting that I think it's always important, if you're not happy with something in life, you know, make that change, make that movement, because it's only a couple of steps away to kind of just change your whole life, and hopefully for the better. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling at the moment, so I'm just gonna end it. But definitely stick around, as I'm gonna do some more videos about Japan. So if you wanna see me on my journey, or you wanna learn some more about Japan, then stick around. You know, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. So stick around if you want to see some more things about Japan. But I'll see you in the next related video. Bye.